In these times, it was a daily choice to do anything to make a difference. Just a 30-minute walk from the Vatican was the ghetto of Rome. For 400 years, the 4 cramped blocks around the Porticus Octavia had been home to Roman Jews. Over the years of the war, Alessandra had traveled there a few times a week. The sick had been tended to, the poor fed. But she soon realized more had to be done when 22 days ago, the leader of the SS and the Gestapo in Rome, Herbert Kappler, demanded that the Jewish community give him 50 kilograms of gold, or 200 families would be deported. And even though the demand had been met, that had done nothing to protect the innocent Jews. As she turned down the last hallway, moving toward the front entrance, Alessandra's thoughts flashed to the young girl, no older than 4 or 5, who had wrapped her arms around Alessandra's neck so tightly as she picked her up. The girl in her arms had been small and fragile, like a porcelain doll. Her dark hair was matted and her eyes were wide with fear. Alessandra couldn't imagine what she had been through, what horrors she'd witnessed in her young life. All she knew was that this child needed her help, just as the others had before her.
It will be all right. I will keep you safe. Have you ever wanted to visit the mountains? These mountains are higher than you could ever imagine.
Alessandra had soothed in a sing-song voice. Alessandra had pulled Miriam close, a surge of protectiveness and love rushing through her. Yet even as she'd carried the child to the safe house just this morning, it haunted her that she could do nothing for her husband. Rumor had it that Christian was under house arrest in Bavaria. Her heart ached, knowing she and her children were safe, but her husband was not. While conventional wisdom said safety for her was to stay within the protected walls of the Vatican, something deep within Alessandra's gut told her differently.
True safety is walking in your will, my lord. Help my steps not to falter.
If the Lord directed her to leave her security for the sake of her husband's life, there would be no question. Love would compel her. Yet she knew that leaving the Vatican would most likely be walking into a lair of wolves.
Oh, my lord, keep me strong.
Up ahead, a young priest stood at the door, holding it slightly ajar. Although a young man, worry lines creased Father Marco's face. His dark brown eyes, usually full of warmth and compassion, radiated fear. His lips were thin and downturned. At her approach, they parted slightly as if to prepare to issue a warning. Then, as if steeling himself to face the enemy outside the door, Father Marco straightened. Erect, he set his jaw as if he were made of marble like the floor he stood rooted upon. Even though a warm breeze flowed through the crack, a chill traveled down Alessandra's spine.
A request has been sent that someone wishes to see me.
She attempted to keep her voice firm. Though she'd always considered herself a capable woman, today it took everything she had not to crumble under the weight of worry. She forced her shoulders back as she paused before the priest. As if just brought to life, the muscles in his face pulsed. His mouth clenched.
There are 2 Nazis who demand your audience.
The priest held the door steady. Her fingertips touched the hollow of her throat above her jeweled necklace.
2?
It is a soldier and an officer with a message to deliver. I insisted you'd just arrived and were weary from travel. I requested that the officer come back tomorrow, or maybe the day after.
And he still waits?
He states it's urgent, a matter of life and death.